There are two tendencies of the mind that are really irritating. One is that the mind tends to look for the negative. The second is that it internalizes this negative. Is this a bug or a feature? In this video, we are going to look at why this is happening and what we can do about it. If you're new here, my name is Bawa and I teach you how to upspiral your life through the secrets of spirituality, meditation and sleep. Our minds can be the greatest asset that we have, or they can become the biggest liability. The mountains that you have to cross are mostly in your mind. And there are these two tendencies of the mind that all of us really struggle with. The first is looking for the negative around you. We tend to look for faults, look for issues. Just the other day, I was watching a reel on Instagram where this young lady asks an old woman, "What is your special ability?" And she says, "Give me 3 seconds, I can find something negative in anything or anybody." But when you're constantly getting distracted by what is not all right in your life, then there is a problem. Now, why is this happening? Believe it or not, this is because of evolution. You have been told it's because of your diet, you have been told it is because of your company, you have been told because it's your social upbringing, whatever. It's evolution. Think of it this way. Thousands of years ago, you are surrounded by jungle. Now, if you wanted to survive, you would have to constantly be hyper alert looking for threat, isn't it? Otherwise, you are going to end up as lunch or dinner. So, as a species, to survive on this planet, our minds developed this hyper ability to look for anything negative. A whisper of wind that should not be there, a rustle in leaves that is sudden. All these could signal death. And so our minds developed to recognize these cues in the environment for our survival. And unfortunately, the software of our mind has not caught up with technology. Evolution is slow. 200 years ago, forget about 200, even 20 years ago, the planet was very different compared to what it is today. Today I wanted to shave and I am in Whitefield in Bangalore, and Soumya, whose house I am staying in, I asked her, "Do you have a shaving blade?" Because somehow Dinesh had managed to pack all the old ones, used ones. And she said, "Give me a second." And she got on her phone and Blinkit bought the shaving blade to our house in less than 5 minutes. This is unheard of even 5 years ago, isn't it? Who would have imagined that on your phone you can order a shaving blade or tomato ketchup and it will be delivered to your house in less than 5 minutes, right? Or a mosquito bat. This happened to me. The last time I was in Delhi, this was the first time I experienced Blinkit. It was 1 a.m. and there was this one machhar in the room. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is not going to allow me to sleep. And instead of giving it applause, we thought maybe there is a easier solution, which is the mosquito bat. But at 1 a.m. from where will the mosquito bat come? And our friend who was with us, Avinash, he said, "Oh, what are you talking about? We can get it in 2 minutes. And I said, "Really?" And then he ordered it on Blinkit. And really in 3 minutes at 1 a.m. It's like these guys run around on the scooters with mosquito bats. Now, who would have thought that this kind of technology, this kind of convenience would be available to us even 5 years ago? Right? So the way technology and convenience is moving is dramatic, and evolution, as you know, is really slow. So now looking for distraction in the environment, which is what allowed us to survive on this planet for such a long time, it allowed us to make tomato ketchup and pizza and get to the moon. Now this has become vestigial. Now this habit of the mind is actually detrimental. Because if you are sitting in an office environment and doing your best to focus, and there is some noise over there, and there someone is saying something over here, and someone is saying something over there, and then there is some something that happens in your peripheral vision, all these things your mind catches, and for the mind it is only danger. All these noises, all these movements in the environment which according to your mind shouldn't be there, are there, and your mind is like going all over the place, and the presentation is just sitting there. From survival of the fittest, today the game has become survival of the focused. And our minds are horrifically badly equipped with the software that is there, which is millions of years old, to handle this challenge. In the same way, our minds tend to internalize the negative. You come to Bombay and you sit in a rickshaw, and the guy takes you for a ride, literally, to get some extra bucks out of you. When you emerge from that rickshaw, what are you going to say? All the rickshaw drivers of Bombay are chor, are thieves, all of them. You have sat in one rickshaw. In fact, there was a very interesting experiment that was done with New York taxi drivers, New York cabbies. New York cabbies have had traditionally a very bad rep, that they are uncouth and they can be rude, can even molest or do something not all right. So one young lady in her early 20s took cab rides in New York between the time of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. over a period of 3 months. Of course, there was some car backup that was there, but the taxi driver, the cabbie, did not know that there was anybody who was accompanying this lady. There was not a single cabbie that behaved inappropriately with this woman. Over a period of 3 months, taking rides from all different parts of New York to different parts of New York, not a single incident. In fact, what was really astonishing was 70% of the cabbies told her, "Don't you know New York taxi drivers have a bad rep? What's a young lady like you taking rides at 10 in the night at this time of the night doing? You are lucky you got me." 70% of the people, 70% of the cab drivers told her this, right? There is one incident that happens and we kind of eternalize it. All of this is bad. All New York taxi drivers are bad. All Bombay rickshaw drivers are bad. One guy ditches you, all men are bad. Right? We tend to eternalize the negative. Again, this is a survival instinct. You are in a village, something which slithers on the ground, which we now call a snake, bites somebody, and that person falls very badly sick or dies. It is very necessary that you eternalize this, that all snakes are bad. Otherwise, we would be going to the snake and trying to pet it. Right? It is very necessary that when a negative experience like this happens, we learn from it and we say, yes, this is not such a good thing to be engaging with. That is how we survived on the planet. But the same thing, you take this ability of the mind to internalize the negative, which was a survival trait. If you take this and put it in our modern environment, so many problems. All mother-in-laws are bad. All people in authority are bad. All politicians are corrupt. Do you see that? All people with long beards and long hair are criminals. This very thing, this very aspect of the mind that allowed us to survive on the planet has now become a humongous problem because our software has not updated. We are still stuck in jungle thousands of years ago. What to do? So the first thing is acknowledge that this is the way we as human beings have survived on the planet, and pat yourself on the back for having that software which allowed us to get to where we are today. Stop blaming society, stop blaming food, stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming all this. As humans, this is where we have reached because of these two tendencies. To find the negative and to internalize it. We have survived on this planet. Yeah, we have survived predators with fangs and teeth the size of our bodies because of this very ability, I would call it even ability of the mind to find, look for the negative and internalize it. But second we have to do is we have to accept that it no longer serves us. That given the day and age that we are in, this exact same ability has become detrimental to our growth. Now, amazingly, the ancient sages and rishis of our country kind of envisaged this problem thousands of years ago, and they created a technology to unlock what is called the fourth state of consciousness. The first three are awake. If you are watching this, you are awake. The second is sleep. Hopefully all of you know about that. If you don't, I have written a book on it. In fact, sleep is a huge issue, but that is the subject for another video. And the third is dream. Now, everybody is born hardwired with the ability to stay awake, to sleep and to dream. But there is a fourth state of consciousness, which is the meditative state of consciousness. In the first state, in the awake state, there is awareness, but there is no rest. You see, if you stay awake too long, you feel tired, right? So there is awareness, but there is no rest. In sleep, there is rest, but there is no awareness. In dream, there is neither rest nor awareness. You have too many thoughts in the night. You kind of wake up saying, didn't sleep too well, I don't feel rested. Neither are you aware of what's going on around you, nor are you rested. That is the third state. The fourth state is where there is awareness and rest, and it is as natural as being awake, sleeping or dreaming. However, this is a state that needs study, that needs practice, and that needs learning to unlock. And once you unlock the fourth state of consciousness, it's like having a software reboot for your mind. It's like installing a new operating system over there, where the mind now stops getting distracted. The mind now looks at an event, a situation, a person as just that much and does not internalize it. And that dramatically improves the quality of life. Now you might ask, how come this technique of meditation is not as widespread as it should be? Well, somehow in the old days where the ancient rishis created this technique, they never gave it to the public at random. That was the tradition. It was Raj Yoga. It was only for the kings. Or you had to go to an ashram and work 25 years, do seva over there before you were initiated into meditation. Recognizing that meditation is such an important aspect for day-to-day living for everybody in our modern society today. Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, who is himself an extremely practical and modern person, decided to give the keys to unlock this state of meditation to everybody. You don't need to go to an ashram and work for 25 years before you get initiated into meditation. It takes just a few days, investment, a little bit of money, for you to learn how to meditate and finally be able to upgrade your system to be in sync with what is required today. So I invite you to come and learn meditation, unlock that fourth state of consciousness, and finally be free of these two tendencies of the mind to internalize the negative and look for the negative. Here is to your success, and I hope to see you on one of our courses really soon. All the very best.